Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So let me do a little housekeeping here and we'll have this ready to go. And I got to post a link. Participants is me, invite, copy invitation. There we go. We go to Stunt Hangar. It will be at the bench. And let's see here. At the bench. And new topic. Subject. Oh, crap. There we go. Paste. And post. All right. I went through all the hoopla. You go to Stunt Hanger at the bench. It's posted. I've been working on my Japanese tissue today. Gonna do the other side. Hopefully I can get this done. Now, as I told everybody in the other stream, Japanese tissue has two sides, dull side, shiny side. This is not the stuff that I thought I had. This is some different stuff, but I'm going with Japanese tissue on this airplane for the simple fact it's lighter. Take 4 coats of dope on the wood. In order to get this to stick, we're not going to use any dope. We're just going to use straight thinner. There we go. Hey, Gary. Well, Gary's connecting. All righty. Got to turn your camera on, Gary.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now. There we go.
There you are.
There we go. Yeah.
That microphone is the noisiest thing going.
Mine?
Yeah, every time you touch it, it's rattling.
Does it? It's sensitive. Yeah.
There we go. I don't don't know who all is going to come in or when.
Me neither. I had my computer on, ready to go though, this time rather than, oh my gosh, I gotta go get it turned on.
Did you follow my last video I did?
Yeah, with it putting on this tissue there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you know this is straight thinner.
yeah. Who would have thought, in the beginning, oh, I gotta have something to stick it down, but
Yeah. Well, you gotta have dope underneath it so that
yeah,
thinner will stick to it.
stick to it. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I remember back there we used to use that powder stuff, remember? And then sand it all down and do it again, try to fill up the grain and stuff.
You know how heavy that shit is?
Yeah.
Putting a rock on it. Gypsum.
So that tissue really helps that out great, doesn't it?
Yeah, this is the lightest way you can finish it with Japanese tissue. Japanese tissue and 1 quart of dope. But we're gonna slather the spray shine on this baby.
Oh, yeah. Doctor Wrap.
Yep. Danny's got me talked into it. I was gonna do it anyway. Well, that went down real nice that time. So I got the trick. Don't go this way. Go this way. How long did you stay on the other night with Dennis? How long do you guys stay on at night?
Till midnight.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Well, actually, was it? I think it was either midnight or it's pretty close. 11:30 to midnight. So I'm not right on there.
So that's
Yeah.
10:30 my time. Well, that's good enough. Or 11 o'clock. I ain't staying. 9 o'clock is my 2 hours. This is what you get me for 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours. Okay. And it's time to relax, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize how much effort I put into this channel.
Yeah, you have to be dedicated to it like you are. So.
Steve was over today, worked on his bonfire.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He sanded. I don't think he gets how much he's got left to sand.
Has it cooled down there in your area?
74 today, so not bad.
Yeah, I think we had 44 or something like that this morning.
Summer's about over.
Yeah, going fast.
That turned out real good. Except for this a little bit of crap underneath here. Hey, yeah, that turned out great. Do the other side now. And the two tips. Oh, shit. Is it nighttime there yet? Is it dark out where you are?
Yeah, it's pretty dark. It's just about there.
Just now starting to get dark where I'm at.
Yeah, it's about there.
You didn't go to the Worlds, did you?
No,
You should
no,
have. It was
it'd be
quite
nice.
quite the deal. You got anything to fly at all?
No, not really. It's just RC stuff.
No. Can you still fly?
Can I? I don't know. Never. I haven't started it yet. Or tried that part. Probably get dizzy. I was thinking about like had a like they have the electric now. You can just let them run long enough, just to, or even if you had some trigger thing with you'd speed it up. You could just keep landing it if you got dizzy till you learn to get used to going around again.
Well, we got to get you an airplane then. One that you don't care whether you hit the ground with.
Well, I got one I was working on a little bit, kind of getting these tissue on it stuff and trying to get it repaired a little bit. I could probably run. All my old ones need covered too. Probably tear all that heavy stuff off and put some new on and rework it.
Are you traditional builder like I am?
Yeah, mine's mostly the smoothie was a kit, but and the ringmaster back way back, it was a kit. But the other ones I just scratched.
How about your RCs? You fly ARP or kits or scratch?
Yeah, I've got a kit to put together, but I don't have time to go down and do it.
I
But
don't like to hear that shit. It only takes an hour a day. It'll get done.
yeah, I know. I need to clean up my place to build. I'm like you, don't have no room.
Well, we made a little
I,
progress today in here, but not a whole lot. Be another building session with Steve, and I'll be able to move in here again. Since I've been back home from Dayton, I think I built 7 airplanes.
you did pretty good on your last bunch of lumber you got, didn't you?
Yeah, not bad. It's wasn't nothing to write home about. I mean, not like I used to get. We used to get really good wood. Now it's mediocre. As soon as National Balsa has another sale, I'll order again. We'll see what happens. Well, I'm happy with that. That turned out 100% perfect.
That's good. It's nice.
Now I got to do the tips. Tissue stop right there. Don't overlap Jap tissue. The only thing about this is I got to waste a piece because I got to have the grain going in the same direction. So have to be this piece. I mean, I'm not wasting any of it.
And that does make it stronger putting that on there, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Let's take a, yeah. Let me get.
Japanese tissue is way stronger than silk span because it's tighter weave and lighter because it takes less to fill. This wing will be filled in 3 coats of dope. Ready for color. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Screwed up. I really enjoy creating, that's why I like building. Did them West Coast
Yeah.
guys come in after I left?
Was
Howard Rush.
I don't think so.
You get a pretty slow start on this channel. Takes about a half an hour to get rolling, so any minute now somebody might come on. Yeah. Short. Oh well. We'll just have a little grain there, that's all.
I'm surprised with some of them models that you see that folds the wing.
That does what?
When you fold the wing, when you're flying it, they say that when the wing folds up or something.
Well, they sanded the sheeting too thin. Or didn't put a compression spar, depending on where it folded. Didn't have a joiner spar or compression spar. They sanded the sheeting too thin, creating a stress riser. There's a lot of G-force on these wings.
Yeah, it probably is. I mean, yeah, especially on your squares.
Well, I think the most G-force is the third corner of the hourglass, if it's done right. I haven't put any dope on this yet, and it's stuck down already. I mean, it's perfect. No dope.
Yeah. So you're upstairs in your house, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Why do you ask?
I figured that's what it was. I mean, yeah, yeah. You just turn your upside down or upstairs to a shop.
Yep. A complete second floor is a shop.
Hmm.
I got to get my wing. Got to get my airplane storage room cleaned out. I have a computer desk in there and all that. I don't use it anymore, so I'm gonna get rid of that, and so I can store more airplanes. I gotta do the floor in here. The cheap tiles already screwed up. Didn't last but 5 years.
So you're in an older part of town,
Oh yeah, this is a historic district.
the story.
Everybody wants to buy this house for some reason. They think I'm an idiot. They sent me a check for $41,000 today. All I gotta do is cash it, and my house is gone. And no, thank you. It's gonna take, in my situation, it's gonna take a whole lot for me to get rid of this house because I have no rent. Why would I?
Yeah,
Why would I? I'm not working, so it ain't like I was 40 and I
yeah.
could do it. Can't do it. I made double payments on this house and paid it off in 7 years.
Good to do it.
Be damned if I'm gonna. Well, that's not exactly true. I had the house across the street, and I traded that house as a down payment on this house, and then paid this one off in 7 years. The guy that had it just about didn't want to let it go. He said, "Man, I thought that was quick." Yeah, well, you got to pay attention how amortization goes. He thought he had me as a 20-year mortgage. Because I bought this house in contract for deed. Are you familiar with that?
No, I don't think so.
Kind of like one of them deals, rent to own.
Oh,
Well, this wasn't a rent to own, but it's like that. It's
like
contract for deed.
okay, I see. Yeah, well, that's one way to do it. Yeah,
Yeah, no, but I was making double payments.
yeah.
He figured he had me for 20 years,
I see. Yeah.
as a good paying customer. Well, and if it wasn't for my attorney, I'd have just kept paying.
Yeah.
My attorney says, you got your house paid off. I said, no, I don't. I said, oh yeah, you've been paying double payments. Okay, great. Let's get it taken care of. That came out smooth. Smooth as a baby bottom. And I haven't got a dope on it yet. Little wrinkle right there. Have to get out.
It's something how you can look over that stuff, over and over and over again, then come back again or something, and oh no, I see something.
What's that?
So you look over it, you think it's all perfect, and then next time you kind of look at it, then oh no, there's something I need to fix.
Well, a paint job's never finished. It's just abandoned.
Yeah.
But you try to get
Yeah.
it to look nice before you abandon it. That turned out good. Okay. One
Yes.
last to do.
That's what we learned over there at John's house when you went over on Saturdays. We learned a lot there. A lot of neat stuff.
Yeah, I wish I could still do that, but
Yeah.
I mean,
You, 'cause you two can bounce stuff off of each other, and makes it nice.
yeah, he's a good builder. Well, what am I gonna do here?
Come on in, guys.
What's that?
Telling the guys to come on in.
Yeah. I'm just gonna use that. I'm not gonna waste another sheet on that. Yeah, they were asking me today, is not overlapping it going to create a stress riser? Well, it doesn't matter. This is just a grain filler. Yeah, I don't know where everybody is. I mean,
Would you like to go to that Vegas meet?
not really. My dad was alive, I'd go.
That's a long way for us, isn't it?
Yeah. I've been there before at the field or one year, Joey Matheson. Of course, I don't see him much anymore either on the forum. He's a speed flyer. He toted my dad from Vegas to the Nats one year. And then took him home. My dad said, I ain't gonna do that no more. That guy's crazy. He drove straight through from Indiana to Las Vegas.
That'd be a long minute drive. Wow.
And he said he had to be at work by Monday. I had to go. Yeah, my dad was, I think then he was 92. Pretty long drive for an old guy like that.
Yeah.
Pretty long drive. Well, it looks like we might be the only guys here, but it's only been a half hour.
I don't think there's anything special going on, is there, tonight? Any
I
place?
don't know. Maybe somebody else has got their own hangout going. You heard anything like that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. The days that say are my best days to upload are Sunday at 1 o'clock. When we get the most views. Okay.
Well, that reminds me. I don't know whether I gave you. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I got a like given.
What's that?
So I didn't give you a like, but I did. I've already had it going. You got any more likes? Let's see.
I don't know. I can't see him
I
there.
can't see. Let's see if we got anybody watching. Yeah, Daniel Berry Sports is.
Yo!
And Roy Lane and
Hey,
Keith
Roy.
Bryan. Keith Bryan. Yeah.
I know Keith. Okay, now I can give it a coat of dope.
How long do you have to wait for that to dry or whatever?
What?
Really?
The thinner?
Uh-huh.
The thinner is already dry.
Oh, okay.
It just,
So you're ready to go again. Huh?
yeah, it basically evaporates.
Yeah.
All I'm using it for is to, hey there, Stuart, is to stick down the paper.
Yeah, there we go.
Great thinner. And not the cheap shit either, the good stuff. Hey, Stuart.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Good.
We didn't think anybody was going to come in.
I don't know. I'm late myself.
Everybody must be mad at me that I shut the thing down early every night.
I don't know.
We can't get it all talked out in 2 hours. I mean, Gary said they stayed on till midnight.
I've done that before.
Okay, let's get some dope on it.
Any of you guys know where I can get a gasket for an LA 46 for the back cap? I don't know what you call it, the back plate. You know where you can buy gaskets for those?
I don't, but they're easy to make.
Yeah, I've heard people are making them, but I didn't know if you could buy them.
Get yourself a piece of construction paper, some 3M77. Spray a spot on the 3M77 big enough for the back plate. Let it dry. Stick it down on there, and then tap it with a little ball peen hammer all the way around, inside and outside. You'll have a gasket. Take about 10 minutes to make.
When you say tap it, are you saying put the paper across?
Okay, let me show you.
Oh, I think I know what you mean. Okay, go ahead and explain
A
it.
little ball peen hammer like this.
Yep,
A baby ball peen.
yep.
You get the paper, and you lay the paper. Here's your back plate right here, and you lay the paper on. You glue the paper to the back plate, right?
Oh, okay.
And then you just tap around it
Okay,
like that.
shape it. And just cut the center out.
No, just tap it. Just tap the inside. Make, I mean, this almost cut this, and it's not even metal. It's just, paper.
Just using regular note paper kind of idea.
I would use a cereal box. You got a cereal box?
I'll find one.
That's, not quite paper, but it's not quite cardboard.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't need it in a hurry. I got other engines and stuff. Just
I made many gaskets for motorcycles with a hammer back in the day. You know what 3M77 is, right? Contact
yeah, I
cement.
got some of that stuff. Yeah.
Boat number one. I don't know why people find this so difficult. It's so easy. So easy.
Still.
Phil,
Oh there. How's everybody?
pretty
Good.
good.
Looks like Sparky's as usual working on a wing.
Oh, he's on it. Yeah.
Airplane even a month old, I'm finishing already.
Yeah, okay.
It ain't.
Good grief. Sparky, you're one of the few people that somebody told me that took a box, threw a bottle of glue in, closed the box, shook it up, and an airplane came out. I would have a hard time doubting it.
It ain't that hard. Pretty simple. Always searching for the better airplane.
Well, I'm going to keep cleaning up the shop here. I'll just listen in.
It's
We
still
got
daylight where you are. Oh, that's not outside. I thought it was, but it's not.
we get Cha-Cha and I can't remember his name. The other guy. Can't man, it's tough getting old.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, I know.
CRS is real, brother. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah.
Can't remember stuff.
It's daytime on the other side of the planet.
Yep.
I don't know what time it is in Winnebago, but
You literally are putting finish on it.
absolutely
Holy crap. Holy
Yeah.
crap.
Japanese tissue.
So what did you do to prep it? Two coats of clear and then sand it and then put the tissue on?
4 coats clear.
Four coats of clear. Okay.
I stuck it down with thinner, straight thinner.
Yeah, that's what I do.
That works pretty good. I got a few wrinkles in it, but I'll just sand them out and dope them over.
That's it. That's what I did. I've been trying to get a couple of them recovered. Oh, look at the big notch in the front.
Yeah,
Must be gonna have a big fuel tank.
yeah, 6 ounces all. I just move everything back.
Yeah.
I'll show you how all that works here. So I get this dope on it. This is a Lincoln Log airplane.
I thought that was foam. I thought you were on the foam wing.
Yeah, it is a foam wing.
Oh, okay.
Tom Morris called his wing system the Lincoln Log, but it ain't the Lincoln Log like I'm talking. And I'll show you here as soon as I get this done.
Yeah, I built one Lincoln Log and then his Lincoln Log, and then I started doing the new Millennium. I like it a lot better. You don't like the new Millennium?
No, I don't like either system. Gary, we can hear your mic. Quit rubbing it on something.
I'm down. I thought I was scratching my head. Stick her way out there, man. You can still hear me, can't you?
You can hear it rubbing on your shirt.
Yeah, okay. It's way out to the side now. Maybe that'll.
That's better.
Okay.
Okay, what I'm saying is that notch keys right into this right here.
Oh yeah, okay.
So the outside of this notch goes here, but the inside goes back here. So it's really locked in there.
Yeah, I've done it like that too. Works well.
And the motor mount, of course, gets glued to the top of the wing here. So you got the two sides and the top of the motor mount glued to the top of the wing.
Yeah.
And then I superfill all the inside and all that crap too, and put my little brace across. I mean, it's the strongest way you can do it. Strongest way you can do it. Well, I wonder if Dennis is going to wait till 10 minutes to 9 to get in here.
That's Sparky. Where'd that time go to?
What do you mean?
Since we started.
It's 8 o'clock.
It don't take long, does it?
No.
Keeps on ticking away.
Time keeps moving on.
Yeah.
Wonder how much weight this put on. We will know in a minute here.
You still doing the 2 quarts?
1 quart of dope.
Well, yeah, 1 quart, but you split it 50-50.
Yeah. I'm still on my first pint of base. I used quite a bit, took probably a third of the jar out, but I filled it back up with thinner. So
Yeah.
that's all the dope I got to finish the whole, to do this right here is all the base I got to do the whole airplane in.
Wow.
It was halfway full and filled with thinner. That's it right there.
Yeah.
Then I filled it back up with thinner.
What thinner do you use?
Randolph. The real shit, $55 a gallon.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to go down and get some this weekend, or plan to anyway.
Randolph?
Yeah. I'm going to Atlanta, so I just thought I'd stop by there and get it, save the shipping.
And the hazmat.
Yeah.
That hazmat's a ripoff.
Well, another one of those fine taxes that they've imposed on us so the government can make more money.
I got a feeling about all that shit's about ready to come to an end.
I don't know. We'll see.
Sure hope so.
The bad thing about what's coming up is either way, it's going to be bad.
It'll be a shit show either way.
Yeah. Now you're down in Georgia, aren't you?
No, I'm in North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yeah, I'll be in Georgia next weekend.
Tom Dixon's contest?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we're going flying tomorrow, and then we have a contest coming up. Then we're going to Oklahoma. Whose TV's on?
That's probably mine in the background. You go turn the darn thing down. Mine, the last time I went to Oklahoma City, I was supposed to move down there, and I was there for a week and was beginning to really enjoy it. And then at 2 o'clock in the morning, the alarms went off. They took us, some of the people were barely dressed at all. I mean, barely anything on other than a sheet. Took us to a storm shelter. Next morning we came out and the hotel was a little tore up and not bad. But I went by the house I was going to buy on the way to work, and the house wasn't there. The guy told me it's 2 blocks that way. I said, no, I don't know about all this. So I called my wife and said, are you about finished packing? She says, no, I've got a little tied up. I got one of the girls got sick and I'm a little tied up. I said, well, good. Don't what? Don't pack. So I told her what had happened. I told her I'll bring pictures, and I worked the rest of that day and came home, and that was it. I had to let AT&T go because I can't handle that wind. Those people are hardier than I am, man. I can't take that. We get 100 earthquakes a year in North Carolina, but they're so small most of the time you barely, if at all, feel them. But when I was in California, one shook so bad, about shook the building apart. And then
I remember in '74 we had I think it was a 7.2 or
yeah,
something.
yeah, and then they had that's when I was out there. I just graduated high school and I was out there spending some time with some friends. But anyway, I've had the earth shake and I've had the wind blow, and the earth shake scares me less than the wind blowing like that. Man, anything that can pick a whole house up and take it 2 blocks, I ain't messing with that.
When I was in Dayton and they had that big hurricane that came through and tore up our field, and about half of Dayton tore it up.
Yeah.
It hit our apartment complex. Well, I was sitting watching TV, and I heard the windows rattling, and I opened the door and I went, man, it's windy outside. I shut the door, went back to watching TV, and then pop, the lights went out, and shit, we were without power for a week, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to, a municipal area that big, it's hard. Power gets knocked out. It's hard to restore it all. We
I
had
never been in a
Hugo.
tornado except then.
Yeah, we had we've had several here, but they're not as bad as the ones there. There's enough mountains and hills around here that usually they blow over us, and the ones that do hit us come in from the south. And they're bad, but they're not as bad as Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City, the whole area is as flat as a tabletop. There's just nothing to slow the wind down. And how those people survive that, I just don't know. It's a hardy bunch, is all I can tell you.
Tornado rally.
Yeah.
Build a storm shelter.
Yeah, my older brother lives in Arkansas. He's got one in his backyard. Looks like a bomb shelter. I call it the bomb shelter, but he says it's a storm shelter. I said, I just got one question. You got this thing between a 2-story garage and a 2-story house. Just what the hell happens if either one of them falls on the shelter?
You're stuck
I
down
don't
underground.
Yeah, you're stuck underground. Does anybody know you're there? Because he's got a 7 or 8 foot privacy fence around the whole backyard. They might not find him for a week. I don't know. He said, well, what am I supposed to do? I said, live somewhere you don't have to have a bomb shelter. That's
Today,
ridiculous.
I went to Harbor Freight and I bought a bandsaw blade.
Yeah.
And the bandsaw blade I got was 93 inches. I don't know how long a bandsaw blade is. I get that thing home today. Shit, it's twice as long as I need. I only need 59 and a half.
Yeah.
So I ordered 2, but you get 2 for what one blade costs at Harbor Freight from Amazon. I'll have them tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a little, you're going to laugh, plastic. The whole machine is made out of plastic. The wheels inside are phenolic with rubber rings and all that stuff, tires around them and all that stuff. But the bandsaw itself is plastic. The only metal on it is the deck plate.
Well, it's just like my Ryobi. It's all
Yeah.
plastic.
Everybody laughs about that thing, my toy bandsaw. But I've been using that darn thing. I've had that darn thing for gotta be 20 years. And I don't just use it for modeling. And it's done fine so far.
Well, I ain't buying another bandsaw unless this one dies.
Well, I wouldn't either. I would not have bought another jigsaw. Scroll saw, except my old, what is it? The Dremel. My old Dremel one got so loud I couldn't stand it anymore. The bushings are gone. I couldn't find the bushings to fit it. So anyway, I've still got it. I just don't use it anymore. I used that thing for 40 years and it finally crapped out.
Well, I got a little X-Acto table saw. I really like it, except it doesn't have any power.
Yeah, I got the same one and same problem. Tom Morris was showing me the one from Micromark, and that thing's amazing. And they made a big deal about it being Tilton Arbor. Hell, mine's a Tilton Arbor. I can lay mine over on its side, but
Yeah, mine too.
So it's big difference is that was just a whole heck of a lot stronger. I got one of those motors.
Mark?
Hey, Mark. Mark just dropped in. I got one of those motors and put it on a lathe, a TAG micro lathe. It was fine till the first time I tried to cut aluminum. As soon as I turned that thing in, it says chick, 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 boom, and just quit. A sewing machine motor has more torque. I say that because that's what's on it now, a Singer sewing machine motor. Just you have to kind of watch it. You run it for 5 minutes, then you shut it off for 5, and run it for 5 more minutes and shut it off for 5. Let it cool. I've made a shroud to go around it, aluminum shroud with big head fins, and put a fan on it, but I haven't had a chance to test it yet. Let me go turn this thing down. Be right back.
Using up all my supplies. I don't have to buy anything. No wood, no paper, no glue.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, if I try to sell you that doctor paper, do not fall for that crap. You talk about something takes an awful lot of dope to fill. That stuff's incredible.
I got a couple rolls of Dr. paper down there.
You won't like it.
No, I didn't like it. I tried it. That's back when the silk span shortage was supposedly going to happen.
Well, people, Clayton Smith told me something when that was happening. That was just right before Clayton died. He hadn't told any of us that he was sick, but he one day said something, and he gave me a whole big roll of tissue paper, and I'd never seen it on a roll like that before. I mean, it was so big around and 36 inches. I said, where in the heck did you get that? He said, from some factory up in Wisconsin when he lived up there. And I said, I've never seen tissue like this. He says, do you drink tea by any chance? I said, well, yeah. He says, do you ever get it in tea bags? I said, well, yes. He said, well, what do you reckon that paper is that's the tea bags tea is in? I had to think about it. He said, that's where that's from, the factory. He said, if you look at it, it's lightweight silk span. And by darn, he was right. It works the same. I don't know if it's the same stuff, but if you mic it with a micrometer, same thickness. If you check it, put it on the wing and let it shrink, it does the same thing. It works perfect. But this doctor paper, it's too thick, it's too heavy. And it's not that you would think being that much thicker, it'd be much more puncture resistant. It's not. I've got it on a couple of different airplanes, and I have never been happy with it yet.
Somebody named iPad had just come in. Oh, Joe Gilbert. Hi, iPad.
Hi.
Joseph, how in the world are you, sir?
Good. We flew
Good
model
deal.
airplanes all day today at the model airplane. We had a good time. All is well in our world.
Well, we're supposed to go in the morning, 9 o'clock.
We there
Would've
from
been-
9:30 to 3:30. I had a good day.
I bet you did. You got Big Blue flying again yet?
Now I've been flying Little Blue, getting ready for St. Louis. I'm going to go up and play with Sparky a little bit. See
Little
what I
Blue,
can
that
do
one.
in St. Louis, just because.
Cavalier?
Yes.
Well, the way you fly that thing, you won't have any problem.
You're
We're
going to
going
fly
to
it
go play.
Classic, Joe?
And PA.
I might
And
fly
the
my Continental that weekend then.
And I'm going to fly the Mustang in profile and the Ringmaster in old time. I'm going to come and just get plumb carried away and fly everything, wear myself out.
Be careful, Joe. I did that a while back. I decided I was going to go to a contest and fly all 6 events.
6 is a lot, dude.
Yeah, you ain't telling me nothing I don't already know. I was so tired at the end of the weekend, I didn't even know which way was up.
How do you think Paul Smith is at the end of Brodax? He flies every event they have.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Unbelievable.
Who is that?
Paul Smith.
Oh, my word. He's not a young feller either.
No, he flies every event. Racing, scale, Combat, it just flies everything.
Yeah, they can have that combat. I took a Voodoo out and tried to fly it not too awful long ago, and I was going to use it to try to get my reflexes a little better. I couldn't keep up with the darn thing. It's only got a red hat on it, and I couldn't keep up with the darn
2,
thing.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17,
He's counting his airplanes.
19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30,
Dang.
My God.
32 plaques on the wall. I don't need any
Oh.
more.
Oh, plaques. I thought you was counting your airplanes. That's just the ones you built this year. Now, I was looking at my stuff the other week. And I said, it took me till this year to realize it's not the trophies, it's the people that I go to the contest for. Because last few years I really haven't cared if I flew or whatever. I go and they need a judge, I'll stop and judge.
Phil,
I just like seeing the people. Yes, sir.
do you know who Paul Poborezny is?
No, sir.
Paul Poborezny started the EAA, Experimental Aircraft.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
okay.
Okay, hip. One of his sayings was, and I don't know if it's the most famous saying, the airplanes brought us together.
Yeah,
Our friendships kept us coming back.
that's it.
That's
it.
a contest. That's exactly what that is, man. In my
That's
opinion,
it.
for
I
me.
think it's exactly right. I would bet that's exactly right. But anyhow, I kept trying to. I thought I want to go to one and try to fly every event that I can. And I wanted to have 8 planes ready, but I just couldn't get the other 2 ready. But I was trying to fly this Voodoo. Thought I might go out there and fly a little vintage combat. Man, this thing screwed me in the ground so darn bad. And it's just got a Red Hat McCoy on it. If I put the Super Tiger on it that belongs on it, forget
You go
it.
100 mile an hour on 30% nitro, and it'll be fun.
I had it on 10% nitro, and I couldn't keep up. Man, that thing, I sit there doing big figure 8s, waiting for the darn thing to burp or something. Golly, quit already. It just kept running. My word. But I used to watch Huff and Herlocker and that bunch come out here, and Huff would come out and help the combat guys trying to figure out carve propellers for them all day. He'd be out there all day carving props and fixing props, trying to find one that worked. And I said, well, Elmer, honestly, I mean, you go out there and carve a prop and you're not fuel proofing or nothing. He looked at me and says, Philip, how many flights you reckon a prop lasts on a combat
It ain't gonna
airplane?
make 3 flights anyhow.
No, 1 to 3 flights is all you ever get. And he said, I just have to remember what I did to each one. I noticed he was making notes, and he'd do this to this one, and he'd do this to the next one. But he opened the box, and he must have had 20 of the same prop in there. And this is stuff he spent his money for. This was his interest in the hobby. Go out there and make their
fun.
airplanes fly better. Yeah, and then he'd make up 3 or 4 props for them. 5, I don't know how many he did, and give them to him, and they'd go to the contest and did great till I ran out of props.
Look at Sparky putting something on that fuselage, on that wing.
Yeah, he's doping it.
Is that dope, Spark?
Yeah, he's doping it. He put a coat of taupe on the top a while ago. Now he's working on the bottom of the wing.
Yep, it's dope.
That's a tapered trailing edge.
Yep, got Japanese tissue on it.
Well, it's a tapered trailing edge. What wing?
It's a crossfire core that's been modified.
And is that big cutout for the tank? You think you're going to need that long a tank in it?
I know I am.
Well, how long is your nose going to be? 7 inches?
No. 10 inches, but the nominal nose moment is 9 1/4 because I moved my
9
engine.
1/4. Yep.
I moved my engine back 3/4 of an inch.
Put a. Mm-hmm.
A 6-ounce tank that puts the tank all the way.
That's where it
back.
is. Well, you're going to need 6-ounce tank minimum for sure. That's no doubt.
That's what I use.
You're going to be a Tiger 60 or you're going to PA in that rascal?
Tiger 60.
Tiger 60.
This airplane is just to confirm confirm my, the way back in the 90s, this Danny and I were talking. Danny might come to the contest. We were talking, and he said, back in the 90s, you didn't weigh anything. You just put it together and flew it. I said, yeah,
That's
you're
true.
right.
That's true.
He said, well, that's what I want you to do with this one. Just put it together, make it shine like a diamond, and fly it. I'm going to spray shine this thing like you never seen.
The story is, the heavier it gets, the more nitro you run, baby.
Yeah, that means
Yeah,
more fuel.
More
But
fuel.
the more fuel you burn and the less time the shine lasts. Melt the
gotta
wax
have-
right off of it.
Dope won't work on 20% nitro, y'all. It ain't gonna happen.
No, it's gonna be urethane.
Urethane on the.
I'm thinking about painting it motorcycle 9700 jet black.
Oh,
Man, that
Lord.
gets really hot. The wood will delaminate.
And not only that, but it's a bear to see in low light conditions. I got the bright idea to do a Mustang, and I built it and painted it in silver.
Hey, John.
That's a mistake. I did that once.
Yeah, it is a mistake because I can't see silver worth a darn.
You want to paint them orange where you can see them.
Well,
Yellow.
now I paint them silver and then put invasion stripes on it and put a blue nose. I met the guy that owns Obsession, the P-51 Obsession. So I painted it like Obsession. And then here, a few years ago, I was at the mall, back before the mall died, and I met a woman selling books, and I couldn't figure out, I never seen anybody in signing books at the bookstore. I mean, I always heard about this. You see Murder, She Wrote or any of those shows, and they go do book signings, but I'd never seen one. I saw a woman in there signing books. So I went over to see what she had. It was a movie. It was a book with a P-51 on the cover.
Angela Lansbury?
No. But it turns out it was the woman was the sister of the high scoring World War II ace in a Mustang. I'll think of his name in a second. I had it now. I forgot it. Now that you said Angela Lansbury. But anyway, his plane was Cripes a Mighty Fourth, and he was killed on Christmas Day by friendly fire. A kid jumped on a quad 50 and shot at the airplane he was chasing, him, ME-109, but didn't lead it, didn't think about leading it. So when the bullets got there, the Mustang was there, and it killed him. But Cripes a Mighty Fourth is an interesting airplane. I read the book and then did some more reading on the subject, and he was quite
That's
a
the
pilot.
blue nose people.
Yeah, had a blue nose and
George Pretty, who that was.
yeah, that's it, George Pretty. That's right. And I got some good pictures of that one, and then I went down and took some pictures of Obsession. Obsession was at the air show up here in Winston-Salem, and I went up, was taking pictures of it from way back, and I was getting down and trying to get under it and get pictures. Everybody gets the side of that scoop, but nobody gets the front of it, see what's inside it. And nobody ever you never see a picture of the exhaust scoop on the back side of the scoop. That thing laid down. So I wanted to see what was in there and how it all looked. So I went up there taking pictures, and this guy standing back looking at me like I was the craziest thing around. I guess I appeared to be, because I must have shot 30, 40 pictures of that Mustang, just walking around it, looking at putting camera up like this and shooting pictures, trying to get pictures of the canopy. He says, by any chance, you want to see what the inside the canopy looks like on that thing? I said, well, yes, sir. He said, well, why don't you crawl up there and look at it? I said, well, one, I don't want to scratch the airplane. Two, this is a $2 million airplane. And if I was to damage it, I ain't got $2 million. He said, son, I own the thing. If you want to take a picture, crawl up there and take a picture. So he showed me where to put my feet to get up on it. And that one panel disappears. You can see a little square there, but you don't realize it goes in. You can put your foot on it. So I crawled up on this Mustang and took a look at it and started taking pictures of the plane. And before it was over with, they asked me, did I want to take a flight in the thing? I said, well, yes, sir. So it's a very interesting airplane. It's a 2-seat. It's one of the 2-seat variants, and it's a really nice airplane. But it's boy, when he takes off, when he pulls the nose up, he could put $100 bill on the back of his seat, and you could back of the seat or on the dashboard, and you couldn't grab it if you tried. That thing's got some serious
It
torque.
got some giddy up.
What's the history behind that one at the hangar, Joe?
That was in the 354th, I think. That was the first group of Mustangs that went to Berlin.
Wow.
So that Mustang was originally flown to Berlin the first time. And when the war was over, that airplane was given to Israel, and that started their Air Force. And then it came back to America and restored and crashed and rebuilt again. Ike's owned that for goodness gracious 26 years. If you just Googled Widowmaker Mustang, that's his Mustang. Widowmaker. 354th. I can't think of the name right now of the group that went, but they were all red-nosed airplanes.
Isn't that the group that when the Air Marshal, German Air Marshal saw him, he said the war's over?
Yes, that's correct.
Escort them.
That's
Yeah.
correct. They went all the way to Berlin. That his airplane, that very one, Sparky, went to Berlin the first time.
Well, if I want pictures of it, I don't need to Google it. Next 2 weeks, I'll just stop in and take pictures.
You can take pictures all you want, as long as they don't get it. There's no, as long as the pictures are good pictures, not with naked women or something. No, none of that. But yes, that airplane is. When I was 16, I rode in Mustangs, and then probably 5 years ago with Ike for a flight down to South Hobart, and did a flyover for a veteran. And I still remember when I was 16 years old or 15, that prop was so much bigger than a Champs prop. I mean, a huge propeller. And at 58 or 60, it was still a huge propeller, dude.
That's 14 foot, isn't it?
I think 12'6" is what it is, actually. 12'6" prop. But it looks big in the back seat. And Ike's is a dual controlled, rudder, pedals, throttle, and stick in the back.
Yeah.
And I flew it all the way back from Hobart, Oklahoma, back home. And I was just doing like this. He said, "Joe, just roll the dumb thing." So I rolled that till he made me stop, dude. It flew so dang good. He said, "You got to stop. That's enough." I said, "Okay." But the Mustang is an incredible aircraft.
Yeah, it is.
The wing on it, you all know the story. Look it up. It was just that it's not a great aerobatic airplane. The wing was designed to go fast and efficient, high altitude, long ways, low fuel burn, yada, yada. It was just a magical airplane of the day. It just was. It was just a magical airplane of the day.
It was something they threw together in 180 days, and it just worked.
It just worked.
Yeah.
I could tell you, he'd tell you today, he says he's met a lot of people because of that airplane,
Oh, yeah.
He's a Canadian guy that speaks German a little bit, and he was at some Mustang gathering, and the ace, I'll think of it in a minute, came up, and he said he had a suit on and was talking German. Ike started talking to him, and Gunther wrong. And Gunther said, "The Mustang shot my thumb off." Didn't have a thumb right here, shut it off. And while he was getting refixed, he got to fly the Mustang, and he said, "Oh, we are in trouble."
I got a guy come in, John Crawley. Anybody know who that is?
I know John Crawley well. Absolutely, I know John Crawley.
Unmute your mic and turn on your camera, John. Join the party.
He's a professor.
Professor.
Mic working?
Yeah, mic's working. Turn the camera on.
Camera probably won't work. We'll try it.
He was in the Ringmaster Roundups, y'all, back in 2007 in Houston.
There he is.
There he is.
There you
go.
go.
Yeah, I recognize him.
Yeah. Hello, John. Joe Gilbert.
You live in Oklahoma, John?
Nope.
Where do you live?
Central Illinois.
Central Illinois?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Did you ever
Long way from Mobile.
you ever fly at the Peoria contest?
They used to be a club over there, though.
Right.
Wire
Bill Zimmer?
flyers.
Bill Zimmer?
I went over and watched it. I never competed.
Yeah, you look familiar to me.
Yep.
Hard for me to remember everybody's name, but I'm pretty good at faces.
Parky, what's this airplane going to look like? I mean, what are you styling it after? I see it's got the Crossfire-esque wingtips on it.
Got Flight Streak wingtips on it. SV wingtips. This is the core to this is a 1/2 inch more than a Crossfire, and we're at 60 inches in span. So
Wow.
it's a little different than a Crossfire, and the numbers are different as far as nose and tail moment. What's all that?
Wow. Your doublers on the front of that fuselage, what are they, 1/16 or 3/32?
Inch.
How much?
Fuselage sides are 3/32. The doublers are 1/8. Hey John, whatever you're doing there, you're rattling something and making all kind of noise.
I've got a bad hearing loss here, and I don't understand half of what you guys are saying. But I'm enjoying watching. The roundup's coming up next month. I hope you've got some ringmasters among you. It's a fun event. I think you're probably aware of it. Been going for 60 years now.
Yep.
Am I coming through?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I finally got my hands on a couple of those Brotherhood of the Ring decals and put them on the wing of my little ringmaster. Will be on the wing of the big one if I ever finish the darn thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Every time I get started, something comes up. I have to quit, work on something else, or do something else.
You building a 576?
Yep. It's all built. I just got to cover it. The wings built, the fuselage is built, stab and elevator built, rudder's built. Now I just
All
got to
in
put
one piece?
No, I got to cover the wing and then I'm going to put it together. I like covering the wing before I put it in the fuselage.
That's a good move. That's a good airplane, Phil. That'll fly as good as anything you own with an LA-46 on it.
That's what I got, LA-46 with one of those fancy sleeve and piston kits in it.
You know how to make an LA-46 run good?
What's that?
20% nitro.
Put a put 11 4.5 Thunder Tiger prop on it, 20% nitro. That's right.
I got 4 of those props from Randy Smith, and I've got 15% nitro, but I don't own any 20. The only time I had 20% nitro in the house was when I was helping with that A altered or when I was running that 4-stroke. That 56 4-stroke ran.
LA-46, a fine engine right from the get-go.
It is. It's a great motor. That's the best sport motor I think there's ever been because you don't have to fool with it. You can send it off to Tom Dixon. You can send it off to several people and get a better motor than it was. And I think Tom does is I've got them from 3 different people, and I think the Tom Dixon motor is as good as they get. I've got the others had a lot more work done to them, but they don't run any better than the Dixon motor.
Mine's stock.
But a stock one runs just fine.
I've won a few trophies with the stock LA-46.
Son, you've won a few. You could win a few trophies with a brick with strings on it.
Oh, come on,
Huh?
dude. They're good engines.
They are that.
I got something to show Joe here.
Show me. Show me.
That hurts.
You ever tried that?
Oh, now that right there's magic. That's 11,
is
12,
magic.
5
I
cut
have-
down to 11. You'll like that.
I have 2 or 3 of those. That's a good prop.
Have you done this, Joe?
Yes, I've done that. I can see it good. That's a
Oh,
12.5, probably a 4.8 pitch or 4.6. You make that 11 inches or 10 and 5/8 if you think it's too much prop, and put it on LA 46 and say, let's have some fun.
I mean that.
I got it on my Aero Tiger. I'm going to try it out. I took
Yeah,
a flight
you'll
on
like
it Saturday, but the motor wasn't running right. So
That top prop have a little more bite.
anyway, there's a ton of these 12.5s around.
There are.
There aren't very many of these.
No.
Those are hinge teeth right there on the bottom.
Yeah.
And how?
So
But
I'll
that
let you
top
know.
one will work. And if it's too much prop, cut 1/8 inch off each end.
A
Keep
little bit
whittling
more
it down.
off.
You'll find a place for that. Aero Tiger will swing that top prop, I think, easily on 7.5% nitro. Easily. At
I
90,
can't figure
9,200 probably.
I can't figure that Air Tiger out. I mean, I went to Tucson one year and Billy Ware was just flying his Vulcan and he won. The next year I went back. No, it was 2 years later. I missed a year. And went back and Billy Ware was just back and he's flying his Vulcan, but this time he's got an Air Tiger in it. So help me, I think it flew stronger with the Air Tiger.
Then what? Then LA 46?
No, than a Super Tiger 46, one of his out of his world.
I don't have any experience with the Super Tiger 46, but Aero Tiger 36, man, that's a stupid motor. If you wanted to run 8,800, 8,900, 9,000, 92, 90, just put it where you want it.
And let it
It'll
run.
stay there, dude.
Yeah.
They're stupid motors. They just put them, whatever you want to do, it'll do.
Yeah.
And it doesn't
I
need a
bought
lot
3
of
of them. I got 2 that are Air Tigers and one that's a Thunder Tiger, but that's all right. It'll be all right. I'll find another Air Tiger.
I have 2, but I'm not sharing.
I wouldn't expect you to. If you do, you'd be crazy because you got to have one to run and one for a spare.
Didn't you
I
get
got-
him from me, Phil?
I got
I got one from you, yes. But I think the one I got from you is a real one. I'm not sure, but I think it's a
Right,
real one.
I had a real one and a fake one,
Yeah.
and I thought you got them both.
I've got a
I don't
Byron
know.
Barker one, but I don't know. It hadn't got this. I've got an Aero Tiger and another Aero Tiger that's got the right sleeve and pistons. Then I have a Tiger thing that's been modified by Randy, but it's got the original piston and sleeve. But he did the math on the cylinder stuff. Then I got a Byron Barker one, but I've never ran the steel, whatever piston and sleeve the original one had. You know, Randy changed those. Remember, he
He
changed. the
retimed the
piston.
heck out of them.
Yes, but if you took a stock one and retimed it the same, I still think you'd have an awful good motor.
Yeah.
And I've got 2 of those that's been retimed.
Did you
I
ever
have
fly down there, Joe, in New Albany when Byron was alive?
I never knew him, but I never knew Byron. I've never heard anything bad about him. He's always heard good stuff about him.
I got 2 Byron Barker paint stands.
Is that
Yeah.
right? I'll be
That's
darned.
what I've got. That's where I got mine. Everybody kept telling me, "Oh, it's a $200 stand. It's a $200 stand." I said, "And how's Byron selling them for $100?" So I don't know. Anyway, but I bought mine from him at Virginia Beach contest.
$75.
Well, I think it might have been 75. I thought I'd give him 100, but it might be 75. But I know the guy that had them down in Louisiana was wanting $200 for them, and I said no. He's got the same tube and the same sizing, everything. But it couldn't be Byron Barker stuff because Byron's been dead for 10 years.
More than that, I think.
Probably is, but at least 10, because I know he died before I retired. I've been retired 9.
sometimes you can pay too much for a good product and it's a bargain.
It is. It is. I had a guy buy a full house adjust-a-jig from me, and he gave a ridiculous fee. But I had just picked it up in Georgia a week before. I brought it home and I said, well, I'll have two of them because I've got two wings I'm wanting to build. So I'll just try it out. And I brought it home, put it all together, and he saw it and reached for his wallet. He went home with it.
You're
If I'd
too
known he
easy,
wanted,
Bill.
if I'd known he wanted the darn thing, he could have had it for what I gave for it. But I tried to tell him that's too much. I'll just give me what I gave for it. And he said, I gave you the money and I've got the thing. Let's don't argue about it. He's one of those fellas. He's one of those fellas that drives around the Jaguar, and I don't mean one of these. I want to be a Jaguar owner. You know, I mean a real Jaguar. He's got a nice one, but he's a mess. He's got plenty of money, and he don't mind spending when he finds what he wants.
Somebody asked to buy my Super Tiger 60. I said, they said, how much you want for it? I said, give me 400 for it. They said, it's too much. Well, get one then.
Find one. Find one. Yeah.
So John Miller, have you worked on that push-pull twin anymore since we talked last?
No, I was doing another drawing that I have to get finished. It's a drawing that I took a commission on, so it's one of those day jobs. But I finished it, and now we're just going back and forth with little revisions. So yeah, I'll get back on it. Yeah, I'm going to do something. I did do something. I had another drawing you didn't see that where I had built out a single engine version. I think I told you about it, but it's just, it's just single fuselage standard size. And I did a little work on that because I looked at it and the fuselage was too fat, top to bottom. So I
skinny it up a little.
Yeah. It looks pretty good. You want to see it?
Yeah, show it to us. I'd like to see if nobody else cares.
All right. Give me a moment now.
If we're not going to talk about Don Hutchison's plans, let's talk about yours.
All right.
I think everybody should be building a Don Hutchison Warbird just because.
Oh, yeah.
I would if I could get plans to the one I want.
Which one you want?
Hellcat.
Merry Christmas.
Okay, I appreciate that.
The Hellcat's got 3 wings. You got a center section and 2 outboards.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
I'm building a SBD3 Dauntless. Same thing.
Yep. Is it Don's?
Yeah.
Son,
Yes, sir.
I've flown his original airplane. That's a good airplane too.
Oh yeah.
I know where it is today.
The only thing that scares me about that model is he put 4 ounces of lead in the nose of it.
Well, do the math.
Well, it's got a little short nose on it, so it competes.
There you go.
Well, look at here. That's the other plane with a lowered tail and
I told him if he'll build that, I'll come and get it and finish it and fly the crap out of it.
Well, all of this stuff up here, this is, it won't have that stabbing elevator on it, nor the boat, or that. But that's the basic fuselage that's laid out, and it's set up for a rear exhaust. And I like, in this case, I've got a lot of the head sticking out, so that works all right for me. Then there's the one that you like, Joe. Let's see. Let me get over there.
Now we're talking. That's the one I like.
There you go. That's that.
Phil, wouldn't that make a great electric model? Oh,
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking about 2 2814s. I think would do just real nice in that.
Oh, I think you're right. Might actually be able to go slightly smaller and still have the power.
Probably so.
But the bigger one, you could set it up. You probably wind up using less battery.
Yeah.
That one, I'm gonna have to finish up.
I think that's correct. That's a good statement, John Miller. I'm gonna have to finish it. I think that's a good statement.
John, if you would, how about send me the finished the electric front end for the Trailblazer, because I do not have it.
I thought I sent it to you.
Well, I know you said you did, but I have not received it. If I did, it went in a spam file or went somewhere. But now
Okay,
in the last 2 weeks, I've had COVID and been feeling bad and just
all right,
so
not a
I don't
problem.
know.
I'll send it out.
How many
You're
square
good.
inches that elevator you reckon, John? Is that a 200
50.
square inch elevator?
Well,
I'm talking just the
I think it's
elevator,
about
50.
close to 35 to 40%.
Wow.
Man.
You know, I almost think it's almost close enough to a doodlebug or the plane that Bob Barron was flying. What they call that?
Humbug.
Humbug.
Yeah, it's
I've
close
got
enough.
a humbug out in the garage.
Well,
I've got two of them
in
in the basement.
actually you might even be able to leave the flaps off on that.
No.
No,
No, leave
No.
the flaps on it.
yeah.
I
I
don't
got
know.
two.
Like the elevator looks like it's 2 inches above the center line, John. What's the elevator?
Hold on a minute.
Is that 2 inches above center line?
That looks about right. Two and a quarter.
Here from there.
Inch and a half.
Inch and a half. So it's got a 3-inch spinner on it, basically, then, huh?
Yeah. That's actually
2.189.
yeah. The only reason it's up that high, it doesn't have to be that high. I could lower it.
I think it looks
Actually,
great
at
like
one
that.
point I had it drawn as a T-tail with it clear up here. And I dropped it down, and I could drop it down to put it in line with this prop.
I wish I knew more I don't know about that, but if you got it center line of the flaps, then you got the same disturbance both ways, inside and out.
Yeah.
Where's Howard when you need him?
Well,
somebody smarter than me needs to make your
He's
mind
probably
up.
on Circle One.
One of the reasons I believe that people went with the elevated stab above the wing like that is if you come off of here with your push rod and you can get it almost straight. So you get a 90 degree there.
Yeah.
And that helps keep your symmetrical control.
Line up.
So that's what and maybe that's what I'll do. I'll sit down and figure out exactly where it needs to be so you don't have to worry about any asymmetry in the elevator.
I think that'd be a brilliant idea. I spent a lot of time, John, messing with that from the flap horn to the bell crank to get that where it's in 1 inch movement gets the same both ways.
Right.
And you can't believe how difficult that is to get that exactly right. I've never got it with 1 degree.
Because I've done that too.
And I get down to bending the elevator horns to get that.
I've been doing that for 25 years.
It's hard to get right.
Well, I'm lucky that I have the CAD system and I can lay it all out on the CAD system and play with it and get everything correct so it works.
That's a good thing.
And
the weird thing is, though,
what Howard does is Howard's better at math than I am, and he's figured it mathematically. And he's got a spreadsheet. You can plug.
That's right. He moves the bell crank forward and backward too to help it.
Well, he does that, but see, I don't. He and I differ a little on our thinking on that, and that's okay. And he likes to aim his or have his horn he likes to have the cross piece, on the bell crank lined up with the lead outs, so lead out exits. And but I found that for me and what I've been doing, the setup the way I do it, the error from just having it dead set level on plumb level is so small, that it's not really worth worrying about. And so I just use a standard bell crank and I line it up on the center line.
See, yeah, okay. I even my ringmasters, I tilt that about 2 degrees.
Right.
Even on all my airplanes. I did that in 2007. I don't know why. I just gonna say God told me to turn that the way the lead outs are because airplanes aimed out all the time. And
Well,
I did, and I think it's beneficial, but I can't prove nothing. I'm not smart enough to prove anything.
Did you angle the belt crank or where the push rod hooks on that little lever arm there? Did you angle that back so it's set up?
I moved it. I think I moved it forward a kiss, if I'm not mistaken.
You had to move it.
I can't remember.
You had to move it back.
Back, okay, move
You
it
have
back.
to aim
a
it
kiss.
back a little bit because
A
you
little
want that
bit.
to remain plumb level with your flap line.
It's the theory is, I guess, when you move 1 inch forward on the front, it pulls it so far, and the 1 inch back moves it the same distance.
Well,
And you can get that the same distance, but then your flap horn has to be bent to where it matches that. It's a complicated deal, I think.
I think though, we're dealing with wood and glues, and you know, we're not doing with CNC machining here.
Here's how I do it. You see that horn piece right there?
No,
When I bend
That's
the
too
horn,
big.
I am big. Maybe John needs to quit sharing.
I
Yeah,
can do that.
Okay.
you're still not big, but go ahead.
I will be in a minute.
Okay.
And this piece right here, you guys are talking about leaning them forward. I make it so that this piece is just aft. Yeah, it's, you want to get this piece straight up and down when the bell, I don't know how to explain it. Let's see here.
When the flap horn's square, then, huh?
Right. When this is straight up and down is how I do it. And then this one here is like that.
Right.
This and this hole are straight up and down from each other. So it's leaning forward, like you were saying.
Right. Uh-huh.
Where'd you get those, Sparky?
I can't tell you.
If you want to, from what I've found, if you line your cross arms on your bell crank so that they're 90 degrees to the lead out exits, it's going to be tilted like you were giving it control to the top horn of the bell crank. You're pulling it in. So you're lining it up with the lines going out the wing. Well, what that does is if you don't bend I forget what that little arm, the pivot arm for that the bell crank push rod is coming off it to the flap. If you don't bend that back, you've got to make that in line with the center line, perpendicular to the flap line. Otherwise, if you got it too far forward, you get in there as you rotate around an arc. If you've got a push or let's take like a car. You got the steering rods coming in. They've got to hit at a point where they're tangent to that circle.
That's right.
So if they're not tangent to the circle when it's not set up so that it's 70 degrees to the push that it's getting, you're going to get one side. If you just run it like we used to do, one side, you'll always be too little of flap motion, and the other side you always be too much. Because
then you got to bend.
You start rotating.
Up.
Yeah, you start rotating to the downside, so you're closer to the downside. So as you're closer to the downside, you only get this much movement from where it connects to the down. And on the other side, you get all kinds of movement.
You see the flaps here?
Yeah.
Yes.
The way I do it, you get equal amount each way from stop.
That's what you want. That's what you well. No, you want it by linear motion on how far the lead outs are moving.
That's right.
They move the same amount.
That's right.
I mark them.
That's right. Mark them.
That's
marks on there, and they move the same.
That's what I do. I line them up, mark them.
Where you put the bell crank makes a difference on that too.
That's exactly correct. Glad you think so, Joe. They've been arguing with me for years. No, it don't. Yes, it
Well, it makes a difference on that movement of that. If you go further out or further in, that changes that arc.
I also angle my bell cranks.
I do too, but it's
They're at an angle like this to try to keep it in parallel with a push rod.
I can't argue I've never done that, but that's not a bad idea.
I also just found some new pieces. Let me make myself big again.
You are big.
No, you're not.
Not here.
I'm not. Not on me.
Let's see. We want to make
Stalking gets big here.
There we are.
The control system's a big deal on an airplane.
Yeah, I
It
spent a
is.
lot of time
It
on it.
is.
These are metal ball links. I just found these, and I found a box of different size push rods.
You make it big.
Well, I am big.
No, you're
Not on
not.
my screen.
Not on mine.
See, is anybody else sharing?
No.
No, you're big on mine. I don't know what's
Really?
going on.
Yeah,
It's
it must
maybe
be lag. Anyway, these come from Amazon. Cost $40 for 10 Heim joints. These are for helicopters and and cars. And then these are stainless steel rods of different lengths.
Are they reversed where you can have one go each way?
Yes.
That's what you want. They can get infinite movement.
So I got this box of shit right here.
That's the good stuff.
Yeah, and I'm going to take these push rods and cut them in half and glue them into carbon fiber, and then put these.
That's right. Then you have a reverse clevis on both ends. You
Right.
can get infinite adjustments.
Correct.
Then what millimeter and a half? What size ID are those?
3 millimeter.
They're threes.
Yeah, 3 metric. Yeah, 3M.
So it's I'd have to have a rod that's 3 ID.
Well, any one of these carbon. Well, you don't even have to. I take aluminum.
Then yeah, you do them.
A 1/4 inch aluminum tubing. Let me remove the pin. 1/4 inch aluminum tubing. You drill an 1/8 inch hole through a piece of dowel, and then glue the dowel in the end of the aluminum tubing, and JB weld this all together. And then I stuff the aluminum tubing full of balsa wood. It's lighter than carbon fiber and just as strong.
Stronger, probably.
You
I'm
can't
using a
bend it.
1/4 inch tube.
You can't bend it.
I'd like somebody to tell me, when you give a stunt ship full up or full down, how much pressure's on those turnbuckles for those milliseconds when you're hammering on it? How much pressure's on all that? Is it 5 pounds or 3 pounds or
Less
a
than
quarter
an
pound?
hour, probably.
Yeah,
How much?
talk to Brett about that.
I'd
Brett-
like
Less
to
than-
know. I don't
less
think
than
it's that
an hour.
much. I don't think it's that much.
Calculate that one for you.
That'd be an interesting study, I think, to know that. Because when you're flying it, you can watch the lines. If you're like when you one line it, you'll see the up say tighter than down sagging. And as quick as you pop it back, that sag reverses. There can't be much pressure on that line to make that line sag. It can't be pounds. It's got to be ounces of pressure.
Yeah, when they pull these airplanes 60 pounds or whatever,
It's ridiculous.
I bet we're only pulling maybe 5 pounds unless you hit, some high wind and the
Well,
airplane.
Yeah, when you fly in 20-mile-an-hour winds, I felt 18,000 stretch before. That's why I walk with them. But that's a rare case. But the difference between the two when you're maneuvering, I don't think is pounds. When you give it control, one over the other, they're both got pressure on them, but you'll see one sag more than the other when you lean on one. Or I can. Maybe my airplanes are set up wrong.
I got a
I
scale.
doubt that.
I got a scale that's like a handle. I could set up a set of lines to see how much they're actually pulling.
When my big airplanes are flying, they're pulling maybe 3 pounds in level flight, and sometimes a half a pound up top when you're, hourglasses and stuff. But in the wind, like when it's blowing 20, I'm talking about a serious 20, not a thought 20. That big airplane's pulling 25, 30 pounds, dude. I've been on asphalt and tennis shoes and wet pavement, and it slides my feet. It pulls so hard. It's like you're water skiing. How hard does it pull when you're water skiing? And
Joe,
seriously,
you need to eat a good meal before you go flying.
dude, you go pick you a 20-mile-an-hour day on wet pavement and see if it don't pull you.
20-mile-an-hour day, brother. I'm gonna leave my airplane in the pits.
Them suckers pull, mister. I'm telling
Yeah, they
you.
will. Yeah, they will. I used to fly a Cardinal, and we used to fly it a lot in the wind. And yeah, I remember days like that. You just feel
But
like
normally, I don't.
But
think
I
they
still
pull.
don't think it was ever as hard as what we pulled the lines to pre-stretch them.
I agree. I
I
agree.
don't
with
think
that.
we ever pulled any. I don't think I ever have had a model pull anywhere. Cardinal, Stunt Fire, none of them ever pulled near as hard as that 35 pounds was to preset those lines.
They want to have at least double what you could likely get. You know.
That's right, for the jerk away type thing.
Yeah,
But you know, if you go get you a handle and just hook your handle up to the pull test machine and pull that handle to 48 or pull 50 pounds. There's airplanes that pull 50. You'll be shocked how hard that is in your hand.
Yeah.
You couldn't fly that at 50. There's no way. You would end up able to do nothing.
Hey there,
Dennis.
Hi, guys.
Hey,
Dennis has arrived.
Life goes on. What can I say?
We've been talking about line pull. You know, if you put your,
I'm in favor of
put your handle in your hand,
me too,
and hook the lines up to the machine and pull 50 pounds. Do you ever think you've flown an airplane pulling 50 pounds?
No.
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 Simple as that. I was swagged that an airplane that feels like it's pulling my arm off is probably pulling on the order of 8 to 10 pounds tops.
I was going to say 12. I was going to say 12.
And I would also swag that a normal airplane's probably pulling 5-ish, you know?
Yeah. It's about right.
So,
I agree.
Right.
Yeah. I think there are people who concentrate on getting as much line tension as they can, but I'm not sure that I think it's ill-advised. I think what we want is for the line tension to never go away.
Right.
That's it. I just want a little bit.
I don't want 10 pounds when I'm in level flight and half a pound when I'm overhead, you know?
Yeah.
I agree.
I like to have it as close.
I just want 2 or 3 pounds, but I want it
nominal as I can everywhere.
I agree.
So, hey, I'm just not that strong, and I don't want to work that hard. So,
yeah,
it's called precision aerobatics. How can you be put your hand out? Let somebody pull on it 10 pounds and try to make it go where you want it to go. Man, that's a lot of pull.
Well, I read something here not too long ago that kind of floored me. You guys have, of course, heard of the FW-190 fighter, the full size, right?
Yeah.
The designer of that, Kurt Tank, said that they knew that the human hand can only offer, couldn't deal with any more than 7 to 8 pounds of pressure on a more or less continuous basis in an air combat kind of situation. 7 or 8 pounds on a 8 or 10,000 pound airplane. That's all he'd allow that airplane to fight back, and they did everything they could to make the control efforts to keep it within that range.
That's the reason they said the elevators were so small on that airplane.
Well,
I looked it up because I couldn't figure out why.
One of the most maneuverable airplanes of the war, certainly the most, on the order of the Spitfire and stuff like that in Europe.
Yeah.
And, maybe more than the Zero, but the Zero wouldn't go as fast as it did either. And the Zeros were notorious for high control efforts when, in dives and stuff like that, when the airspeed went up. So,
yeah.
I think what I'm trying to do here is support, what Joe's talking about is right, spot on. Is it 7? And we're only flying for 6 minutes,
Yeah.
You don't want it pulling hard.
Mm-hmm.
A little old 22-ounce Ringmaster, Dennis, if I told you it pulls 3 pounds, I think that's all there is, son. There ain't nothing out there. It don't weigh anything.
I believe that.
Well, you're talking about a Zero. I don't know how they pulled very much at all, because I used to have skin from a Zero in my toolbox till I sent it back to my dad. It's thinner than a beer can.
It's Zero was built light, but they didn't
Yeah.
do well above 300 knots either. They loaded up on everything. They claim. They claim.
Well, the Zero's claim to fame was the fact that it was clean. It was light and it was clean. If you remember, they were talking about Howard Hughes had come out with the articles and everything on that Hughes racer that he built, and he was mad as hell because the Japanese government got a copy of the paper, and the Zero followed his instructions, but nothing that the U.S. had at the time was slick skinned like that. He was mad as a Dickens.
The Zero, let's Google it. I think the Zero probably weighed 8,600 gross weight max. And Mustangs weighed 12,500 max.
Yeah, I'm not sure the Zeros are even that heavy, Joe.
They may not have been that much. It could have been 7,400 pounds.
Now, I read another piece from a man who was a test pilot at Supermarine. He was one of the factory built airplanes. He was flying brand new airplanes, giving their first test hops, and he was there from a Mark 1 Spitfire through the Mark 24 or whatever the last one was. Something and he said over the course of time, he said the best ones of the bunch were around the Mark 5 or so. They had the best combination of power and weight, and they kept getting heavy. So the last ones are like twice as heavy as the first ones, and they would roll half as fast and things like that.
The mass. So the Zero was 6,100 pounds gross weight. 6,100 pounds gross weight, 1,000 horsepower engine, basically. Wow. They could fly. I remember reading they could fly that thing on 26 gallons of gas an hour and lauder. Just go somewhere, maybe 140 knots slow. But
they didn't have no protection. Yeah, a lot of the controls were paper mache on it too.
It was for what it was. It'd been a great aerobatic stunt ship.
It should have been.
If you want to give me a Hellcat, if I had to go fight with it. You can have the Zero.
I think it really depends what you want to do. And if you want an airplane that's going to be an awful lot of fun to fly, pick an early Spit or a Zero or something like that. Boy, you'd have a lot of fun dancing around the sky. But you want to go shooting bullets at each other, I want something a little more substantial.
Get me a P-47.
Yeah, well, that's it. A 47, a Corsair, anything with an R2800 engine, and I'm in.
I'm in. That's right. But for the design philosophy, that they did what they needed to do, and they were good at it, but they didn't have the top end speeds and the maneuverability fast when they, don't play their game was the secret. But for a while, we didn't have nothing else to play their game.
Question: Your other airplane. What would you estimate your control stick efforts are on your Chipmunk?
Oh, they're light. Chipmunks is very light. I don't think you ever get 7-8 pounds of pressure on it. Never, ever.
So it's on the order of a good sized stunt plane?
Yes. It's the Spit. They call the Chipmunk the Portman Spitfire. It's a well-balanced, this much aileron takes that much rudder and that much back pressure. It's just I don't think it ever loads up over 7 pounds, Dennis. It's very light pressure. My RV, the RV's light. But like my Courier, it has heavier ailerons just from the way it's designed. But the Chipmunk's more nimble. It's nimble airplane, really quick. It is. If you put it in a 70-degree bank, you won't make 180 degrees for your stalling. They ain't got the power to pull you. But it's nimble. It's this way and then back that way. It's quick, nimble.
Which
but it ain't
RV
got
do
the
you
horsepower
fly?
to maintain it.
Which RV do you have, Joe?
9.
I don't know what that one looks like.
RV9. It's a side-by-side, 160 horsepower, constant speed prop, 180 mile an hour airplane, cruise up high.
That ought to be a lot of fun.
It goes good. It does a good job.
I like the RV4. I helped build one of those, and that was a lot of fun.
I've never flown a 4. I've flown 8s and 9s and 7s and 12s. I've never flown a 4.
I tried to get in a 3, I think it was, had the two canopies in line or one canopy. But you said
John Simpson built the 3. He still has it today, I
Yeah.
think.
No, I think he sold it.
Did he sell
But
it?
I think he did. But I couldn't. The one I tried to get in, I couldn't get in. I couldn't get down in it far enough. The seat didn't go down far enough.
I got you.
Lose some weight.
That ain't got nothing to do with weight. My shoulders too big and too tall.
There, the Chipmunk. My shoulders rub on the sides. I mean, it's a small cockpit airplane. But in 1946, people were 5'8" and $145. They just little guys,
Well, try to crawl in a B-17. You might
go get in the tail turn of a B-25.
I can't get in the back of it.
Get in the tail turn of any World War II airplane. See,
really. Yeah, try to just imagine being a waist gunner. Try to crawl back that far. You're touching the other wall of the airplane.
Yeah, they're not.
I'd have been a ball turret gunner.
That's exactly where you'd have been.
Yeah.
Or a tail gunner, one of the two. The airplane, people were littler in the 40s.
Yeah.
Just the way it was.
My dad was 5'7".
I'd be the guy standing on the ground with the fire extinguisher at engine startup.
Yeah, I want
to
change
That's as
it.
close as they
Yeah,
let
no.
me to the airplane. So
I'd want to fly it, but I'd end up working on it.
yeah.
Well, that was me when I tried to go into service. They wanted me in a Radio Shack way 3 miles from the airport working on avionics.
I couldn't see, so I was not an option to fly.
So guys, I came in late. What have I missed so far?
Everything.
More of the same. More of the same. John, what is that airplane that looks like it's laying back there at 45 degrees? That looks like your big twin. Yeah, right there.
That's Flight Streak,
Orange
isn't it?
one? What color?
That looks like
The
the
red
Flight
one.
Streak.
The orange,
red
white,
one.
black, or whatever that is.
That's the twin Flight Streak.
That's what I thought.
It
It's
should
just
be
laying in
called
there
the
at a
coral
funny angle.
snake. Coral
Laying in there at a
snake.
funny
And the
angle.
other twin boom is the
Raven.
oh what? I forget what
Raven.
you had a 25 in it, right?
Right. That's the
Yeah,
Raven.
that's the one. That's one. Buddy Barbie wants one of them. I'd kind of like to have plans to that myself.
And
That's
then
just
this
cute.
twin boom over here. I
that
like
one-
twin booms.
That one I'm thinking about building. That's the weird one. That is just plain weird, but it's a
Phil,
great flying airplane.
build that Venus. Put an LA-46 in it. You'll be happy.
I'm looking for plans to the Venus. I think
I
they're
thought
on,
I sent them to you. I sent them to you
Venus. I didn't get that.
on the email.
You
You
didn't
better
get
check your email. I sent you those plans.
he didn't get
for
the
the
ones I
Venus.
sent him either. So Phil,
Gilbert. Yes, sir.
if you want to build a Torino, don't
I've
try to
got-
build it off the plants that you can buy from, because
No, I got the ones from you.
oh, you got them. Okay.
Yeah. David Shorts.
By the way, John Crawley, I don't remember seeing you here before. Good to see you. Nice to meet you here. So
Yeah, first time.
all right.
So I'm mostly listening. But
That's what I should be doing too.
Well, your weekend is coming up though, John.
Joe, I don't have
Keeper of the
Okay.
Ringmaster records.
first part of the month.
Oh.
I've got Joe, you sent me the chipmunk and you sent me the other article on the chipmunk.
Okay,
But I didn't get to Venus.
I'll work on it.
That thing is I had
That's
never
a
seen
superb
one.
airplane.
I had never seen one until I saw yours at Brodak, and I just fell in love with that thing. But
That's
it's hard
a-
not to. That thing's so pretty.
Yeah, Phil.
So did 66,000 other people.
Yeah, really. Yeah, everybody that saw it loved it. But it was hard not to when it's out there barking. A 46 running on 20% nitro. It sounded like a Tiger 6, a really nice Tiger 60. And man, that thing would fly. Of course, there again, like I said, Joe could put strings on a brick and fly a good pattern.
Okay, Phil, it's on the way.
All right.
That's a nice airplane. That's a bigger airplane than you think.
No, it's not a small airplane.
It's not a little airplane. It's not. I don't know how he flew that on a Fox 35. That's a big airplane for a Fox 35.
Kept it very, very light. The wood back in was a lot better than what we buy today.
Well, that one you saw fly weighs 45 ounces, just like you saw it. Carbon fiber propping.
Well, that's not terribly heavy.
No, I don't think so. When it quits, it just glides. That's a nice. If they didn't have appearance points in St. Louis, I'd be taking that to fly in St. Louis just because it's fun to fly and nobody's seen it before. You know.
Yeah. No, I've heard of Venus as long as I've been flying, but that's the first one I'd ever seen. I have a new. My new one is a. My new one I'm working on, trying to get finished up. I'm trying to paint a Gieske Nobler, and I'm trying to paint a Humongous. But then the next one will be of Bill Werbage's 1962 Aries. It's a little bit thicker wing, a little bit longer tail moment, a little different
That's not
airplane.
a very big airplane. Are those 530-inch wings? How big is that airplane?
Something like that, 536,
It's not very
I think.
big.
No, but it's got an Air Tiger in it.
Woo!
Well, Billy's got an Air Tiger in his little green bird, so I figured if it's good enough for Billy and I've got one, why not?
I don't know the numbers. If somebody said you take an airplane with a Fox 35 and you take the same airplane and shoehorn an Aero Tiger 36 in it, I'm going to tell you the Aero Tiger 36 is good for 20 more points in the flight.
Mm-hmm.
I may be wrong, but I bet I'm close.
The only thing you got to do with it to put an Air Tiger in that airplane is you got to shove that motor back 3/4 of an inch.
Put a big extension and then your tank's an issue.
Yeah, then your tank is right there with it. It's all real tight, but it does
That's
fit.
right. That's right. Same way in a Cavalier.
We got a few have said some things to YouTube. Brett Williams, y'all, Jonathan Carradas, hi, salute. My wife and I are flying through, can't land. Okay. Then our EB has a 9. I don't know what that's all about. Like Given, Keith Bryant. Do you have any windshift bell crank cell? No. I sprayed the color on my lightning streak. Best overall so far. Great, Roy. Be clear in a week or so. Because it looks me. Brian, I need a belt. No, I don't have any. I use polyacrylic as a base, and no need to epoxy the wings first, or I treat like dope wing. And I wouldn't poly. Okay, we got through all the. If you're watching this on YouTube, go over to Stunt Hangar, go to the bench. Who is that rap? Okay, you can go over to Stunt Hangar. You can go to Ad, and these guys last till midnight. I appreciate you watching. Tomorrow, fair winds, tight lines. See ya. All right, we're done on YouTube.